The Galactic Confederation. In the far reaches of the cosmos, where stars twinkled like distant dreams, Admiral Zara stood resolute on the bridge of the celestial Voyager, the flagship of the Galactic Confederation. This vast alliance encompassed hundreds of species, each contributing its unique strengths and technologies to create a formidable coalition dedicated to exploration, peace, and mutual growth. Zara was not just a leader. She was a symbol of unity among diverse civilizations that had faced countless challenges together. Her sleek, bioluminescent skin shimmered under the soft glow of control panels, reflecting her anticipation as she gazed at the holographic display before her. Mysterious Signal, Admiral, called Thexes, her second-in-command, a tall being with elongated limbs and multiple eyes that blinked in rapid succession. We are detecting unusual energy signatures from an unexplored sector ahead. Zara's antennae perked up with curiosity as she turned her attention to Thex's readings. Can you identify the source? Thex's eyes flickered with activity as he analyzed the data streaming in. It appears to be a fleet, Admiral, but its size and energy output are unprecedented. Nothing in our database matches these readings. The bridge fell silent, a heavy weight settling over the crew as they processed this revelation. The Galactic Confederation had explored vast regions of space, encountering countless civilizations along their journey, yet they had never encountered anything quite like this. Approaching the unknown, bring us closer, Zara commanded, her voice steady despite the flutter of excitement in her chest. But maintain a safe distance. As they approached, the true scale of what lay before them became apparent. Massive ships floated in space like colossal metal leviathans, their designs both utilitarian and elegant. Weapons placements dotted their hulls, hinting at formidable firepower, while vast hangar bays suggested they carried smaller crafts in numbers that boggled the mind. By the cosmic core, whispered one officer, awestruck by the sight. First contact. Suddenly, the communication panel lit up with activity. Admiral, Thexes reported urgently, we're receiving a response to our hail. Zara straightened her uniform instinctively as a holographic display flickered to life, revealing a being unlike any species they had encountered before. A human with 2 eyes and a singular mouth, covered in fine hair atop its head. Greetings, it spoke, its voice translated seamlessly by their advanced linguistic systems. I am Captain Alina Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force. We come in peace and extend our hand in friendship to the stars. Zara took a moment to compose herself before responding. I am Admiral Zara of the Galactic Confederation. We too come in peace and welcome you to this sector of space. Curiosity gnawed at her as she continued. If I may ask, Captain Rodriguez, what brings your impressive fleet to this region? Insights into humanity. Lena's expression shifted, a mix of pride and something deeper that Zara couldn't quite identify. Perhaps wariness from their own tumultuous history. We are on an exploration mission, Admiral Zara. Humanity has recently developed technology for interstellar travel, and we are eager to meet our cosmic neighbors. The casual mention of such advanced technology sent murmurs rippling through Zara's bridge crew. She maintained her composure despite her internal astonishment. Your ships are remarkable, Captain, she said genuinely. We've never encountered vessels of such size and apparent capability. A small smile played on Alina's lips as she replied, Thank you, Admiral. We've had to adapt quickly to challenges in space. Our world's history has taught us to be prepared for any eventuality. Reflecting on history, Zara pondered this statement deeply. What kind of history could forge a species capable of building such a fleet in what seemed like a remarkably short time? We would be honored to learn more about your people, Zara offered diplomatically. Alina nodded enthusiastically. We would be delighted. Shall we say in one standard rotation? We can provide coordinates for a neutral location suitable for both our vessels. As they finalized arrangements for their meeting, Zara felt a mix of excitement and trepidation wash over her. She understood that this encounter could shape not just their futures, but that of countless civilizations across the galaxy. Preparing for change, in the hours that followed, activity buzzed throughout the celestial Voyager as scientists pored over scans of human vessels while diplomats prepared briefs on first contact protocols. Security teams ran countless simulations preparing for every conceivable scenario. Seeking solitude amidst this whirlwind, Zara retreated to her quarters to process everything that had transpired. Gazing out at distant stars through her viewport, she felt both wonder and unease about what lay ahead. The humans with their massive ships represented something entirely new, potential allies or formidable adversaries. Gentle chime interrupted her thoughts. It was Texas entering with a datapad in hand. "Admiral," he began cautiously, "I have preliminary reports on the human fleet." Zara gestured for him to continue as he launched into details about their ship's efficiency and energy outputs that surpassed anything they had recorded before. The weight of information. "If our analysis is correct," Texas continued with agitation evident in his blinking eyes, "a single one of their larger vessels could potentially match the firepower of our entire fleet." Zara leaned back in her chair as this information settled heavily upon her shoulders. Humanity claimed to be on an exploration mission, but what if they were more than that? "We need to approach this carefully," she concluded grimly. "These humans could either be our greatest allies or most formidable adversaries." As Texas left to continue preparations for their meeting with humanity, Zara turned once more toward the stars outside her window. Somewhere out there lay humanity's home world, a crucible that had forged a species capable of such rapid advancement. Anticipating tomorrow. With anticipation mingling with trepidation swirling within her mind, Zara began preparing for what would undoubtedly be one of the most important diplomatic meetings of her career. The fate of not just their civilization, but potentially that of all galactic life, hung in delicate balance as she contemplated what wonders or horrors might await them from humanity's side. The universe was vast and filled with mysteries yet uncovered. Tomorrow would mark not just an encounter between two species, but perhaps an awakening into an era defined by cooperation or conflict in ways yet unimaginable. The meeting begins. The neutral planet, designated as Viridia 3, was a lush, vibrant world that seemed to breathe with life. As Admiral Zara and her delegation descended from the celestial Voyager, she felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. This meeting could redefine the future of both humanity and the Galactic Confederation. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of alien flora, and the gentle rustling of leaves created a serene backdrop for what was about to unfold. As they approached the designated meeting area, Zara noticed the human shuttle gliding down gracefully. Its sleek design contrasted sharply with the organic shapes of the surrounding environment. The door slid open, revealing Captain Alina Rodriguez, who stepped out with an air of confidence that immediately put Zara at ease. "Admiral Zara," Alina greeted warmly, extending her hand in a gesture of friendship. "It's an honor to finally meet you in person." Zara reciprocated, marveling at the warmth of Alina's hand. "The honor is ours, Captain Rodriguez. We are eager to learn more about your people and to share knowledge of our own." First impressions. As the two leaders exchanged pleasantries, Zara took a moment to observe Alina's team. The humans were diverse in appearance. Varying skin tones, hair colors, and facial features spoke of a rich genetic tapestry. Yet, despite their differences, they moved with a sense of unity that suggested a shared purpose. "Shall we begin?" Zara suggested, gesturing toward a clearing adorned with bioluminescent plants that illuminated the area in soft hues. The two groups settled into a semicircle, and Zara felt the weight of history pressing upon them. This was more than just a meeting. It was a moment that could alter the course of galactic relations forever. Sharing stories. The discussions began with introductions from both sides. Each representative shared snippets of their civilization's history and culture. Alina spoke passionately about Earth's struggles and triumphs. Our journey has been fraught with challenges, she explained. From wars among ourselves to natural disasters that threatened our very existence. Each crisis pushed us to innovate and adapt. Zara listened intently as Alina detailed humanity's rapid advancements in technology driven by necessity. Our early ventures into space were born out of desperation for resources, she continued. We had to make our ships efficient and powerful because we never knew what we might encounter out there. Understanding each other, Zara felt a ripple of unease among her delegation as they absorbed this information. Many species viewed conflict as a sign of an uncivilized race. Yet here was humanity, scared but resilient, standing before them as potential allies. What drives your expansion into the stars now? Zara asked, intrigued. Lena's expression brightened as she replied, curiosity. We want to explore and understand our universe better. We've learned from our past mistakes and hope to forge a more peaceful future. Zara nodded, appreciating this perspective. The desire for knowledge resonated deeply within her own people. Technological insights. As conversations flowed freely between delegates from both sides, Tuxes seized an opportunity to delve deeper into human technology. Your ships, he ventured during a lull in conversation, are unlike anything we've ever seen. The energy readings alone defy our current understanding of physics. Lena smiled proudly, but with humility. We've had to innovate rapidly due to our circumstances on Earth, she explained. Every challenge forced us to think outside the box. The exchange sparked curiosity among both groups as they began discussing specific technologies, propulsion systems, energy sources, and defensive measures. Cultural exchange. As discussions continued, it became clear that humanity and the Galactic Confederation had much to offer each other. The innovative approaches of humans could complement the Confederation's vast knowledge base and established infrastructure. Imagine what we could achieve together, Zara proposed enthusiastically. Your adaptability combined with our experience could lead to breakthroughs we haven't even dreamed of yet. Lena's eyes lit up at this prospect. Yes, joint scientific endeavors could revolutionize not only our technologies but also our understanding of each other. A bold proposal. Towards the end of the meeting, Zara made a bold proposal that had been brewing in her mind since their first contact. Captain Rodriguez, she began carefully, on behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I would like to extend an invitation for humanity to join our alliance. Your unique perspectives and capabilities could be invaluable in our ongoing mission to maintain peace and foster growth throughout the galaxy. Lena's eyes widened slightly at this unexpected offer. She glanced at her team, silent communications passing between them before turning back to Zara. Admiral Voss. Alina replied thoughtfully, we're honored by your invitation. While I don't have the authority to accept on behalf of all humanity, I can say that we are very interested in pursuing closer ties with the Confederation. The positive response ignited excitement among both delegations as plans were quickly made for further meetings and cultural exchanges. Building trust. As the initial meeting drew to a close and teams prepared to return to their respective ships, Zara pulled Alina aside for a private word. Captain, she began softly, I must admit that the scale and advancement of your fleet have caused some concern among my people. Can you assure me that humanity's intentions are truly peaceful? Alina met Zara's gaze steadily. Admiral, I understand your concerns completely, she said earnestly. Humanity has learned hard lessons about conflict's costs. Our ships are impressive tools for protection and exploration, not conquest. Zara studied Alina's face for any sign of deception, but found none. Instead, she saw determination reflected back at her. Thank you for your honesty, Zara said slowly. I believe this could be the beginning of a remarkable partnership. Looking ahead. As they parted ways and Zara returned to her shuttle bound for the celestial Voyager, she couldn't shake off lingering thoughts about humanity's rapid advancements driven by their tumultuous history. What might they be capable of in centuries to come? Would the galaxy be ready for it? In the days that followed their historic meeting, news spread rapidly throughout the Confederation, sparking excitement, but also trepidation about what this new alliance might entail. As Admiral Zara prepared for future discussions with humanity, she felt both hope and apprehension intertwining. A reminder that while they stood on the brink of unprecedented cooperation, they also faced challenges that lay ahead in understanding each other fully. The universe was vast. Its mysteries awaited them both as they embarked on this new journey together. A journey filled with promise, but also uncertainty. A dance between trust and caution as they navigated uncharted territories together. The aftermath of first contact. In the weeks following the historic meeting between Admiral Zara and Captain Alina Rodriguez, the atmosphere within the Galactic Confederation was electric. News of humanity's impressive fleet and their willingness to engage in diplomatic relations spread like wildfire. Yet, beneath the surface of excitement lay a current of anxiety. The Confederation had always prided itself on being the pinnacle of civilization in the galaxy, but now they faced an unprecedented challenge: how to integrate a rapidly advancing species into their fold. Zara stood on the bridge of the celestial Voyager, her gaze fixed on the stars outside. The vastness of space felt both exhilarating and daunting. It was a reminder that while they had made significant strides in understanding humanity, there were still many unknowns. What were humanity's true intentions? Could they be trusted? Internal conflicts. As Zara pondered these questions, a commotion erupted on the bridge. Thexis, her second-in-command, approached with urgency. "Admiral, we need to discuss the reports coming in from various sectors." Zara turned her attention to him, noticing the concern etched on his face. "What's happening?" "Some members of the Council are expressing doubts about humanity's capabilities," Thexis explained. "They believe that their technological advancements could pose a threat to our security." Zara frowned, feeling a knot tighten in her stomach. "Are they suggesting we reconsider our alliance?" "Not yet," Thexis replied cautiously. "But there are calls for increased surveillance and military readiness. Some factions are pushing for a more aggressive stance." A divided council. The Galactic Council convened that afternoon, bringing together representatives from various species within the Confederation. Zara took her place at the head of the table, flanked by Thexis and other key advisors. As discussions began, it became clear that opinions were sharply divided. "We cannot ignore the potential threat posed by humanity," argued a representative from the Zirek species, their skin shimmering like liquid metal. "Their ships are capable of matching our firepower. We must prepare for any eventuality." Another delegate, a wise elder from the peaceful Luminary race, countered, "But we must also recognize their desire for cooperation. They have shown us nothing but goodwill so far." Zara listened intently as voices rose and fell around her. She understood both sides of the argument. Humanity's rapid advancements were impressive yet unsettling. However, she believed that fostering trust was essential for any lasting alliance. A call for diplomacy. As tensions escalated within the council chamber, Zara raised her hand to quiet the room. "I propose we extend an invitation to Captain Rodriguez for another meeting," she stated firmly. "We need to address these concerns directly and establish clearer communication between our peoples." The room fell silent as delegates exchanged glances. Finally, Thexis spoke up. "I support this initiative, Admiral. Open dialogue could help alleviate fears and build trust." After some deliberation, the Council agreed to send an official invitation to humanity for further discussions. Preparing for humanity's response. Back aboard the celestial Voyager, Zara felt a mix of hope and apprehension as preparations began for Captain Rodriguez's return visit. She knew that this meeting would be crucial in determining how their relationship with humanity would evolve. As she reviewed reports and briefings with her team, Zara couldn't shake off lingering doubts about whether they were making the right choice. Would humanity understand their concerns? Would they be receptive to discussions about military capabilities? Tuxes entered her quarters with a datapad in hand. "Admiral," he said cautiously, "I've compiled additional intelligence on human military operations." Zara nodded and motioned for him to continue. "The Earth Defense Force has made significant strides in developing advanced weaponry and defensive systems," Tuxes explained. "However, their primary focus seems to be on exploration and protection rather than aggression." Zara considered this information carefully. It aligned with what she had learned from Alina during their previous meeting, but also raised further questions about humanity's long-term goals. The meeting approaches. As days passed and preparations intensified for Captain Rodriguez's visit, Zara felt a growing sense of urgency. She wanted this meeting to be productive, an opportunity to address concerns while also showcasing their own strengths as allies. On the day of the meeting, Zara stood at the head of a large conference table, adorned with holographic displays showcasing various technologies from both civilizations. The atmosphere was tense but filled with anticipation as representatives from both sides gathered. When Captain Rodriguez arrived with her team, Zara welcomed them warmly but could sense an undercurrent of apprehension among her own delegation. "Thank you for coming back so soon," Zara said as she gestured for everyone to take their seats. Alina smiled, but there was a seriousness behind her eyes as she replied, "We appreciate your openness to dialogue." Addressing concerns. After initial pleasantries were exchanged, Zara decided it was time to address the elephant in the room. "Captain Rodriguez," she began carefully, "we have received feedback from various sectors within our Confederation regarding your fleet's capabilities." She paused briefly before continuing. "Some members express concern that your advancements may pose a threat to our security." Alina nodded thoughtfully, but did not appear surprised by this revelation. "I understand your concerns," she said earnestly. "Humanity has faced its share of challenges throughout history. Both external threats and internal conflicts have driven us to innovate rapidly." Zara leaned forward slightly, intrigued by Alina's openness. "What can you assure us about your intentions? How do you plan to approach interstellar relations moving forward?" "A vision for cooperation." Alina took a deep breath before responding. "Our goal is not conquest but collaboration," she stated firmly. "We want to explore together, share knowledge and resources, and ultimately ensure that no one species dominates another." Zara felt a flicker of hope at Alina's words but remained cautious. "And what if we encounter situations where our interests conflict?" "We must establish protocols for conflict resolution," Alina suggested confidently. "Open lines of communication will be key. If we treat each other as equals rather than adversaries, we can navigate any challenges that arise together." The discussion continued as both sides delved deeper into potential frameworks for cooperation, sharing technology and scientific knowledge while also addressing security concerns. Building bridges. As hours passed in constructive dialogue, Zara felt tensions begin to ease among her own delegation. They started seeing humanity not just as potential rivals but as partners who shared similar aspirations for peace and exploration. By the end of their meeting, both sides had laid groundwork for future collaborations. Plans were made for joint scientific missions and cultural exchanges that would further solidify their bond. As Captain Rodriguez prepared to depart with her team, Zara felt a renewed sense of optimism about their alliance. "Thank you for your honesty today," Zara said sincerely as she shook Alina's hand once more. "Thank you for your willingness to listen," Alina replied warmly. Looking ahead. As Captain Rodriguez's shuttle ascended back toward Earth, Zara watched it disappear into the stars with mixed emotions swirling within her. Hope intertwined with caution as they ventured into uncharted territory together. The Galactic Confederation stood at a crossroads. They could either embrace this new partnership or retreat into isolation out of fear. A choice that could define not just their future, but that of countless civilizations across the galaxy. With determination burning brightly within her heart, Admiral Zara resolved that she would do everything in her power to ensure that cooperation triumphed over conflict, that together they would forge a path toward understanding rather than division. The universe awaited them, a vast expanse filled with possibilities where trust could flourish amidst uncertainty, a journey that had only just begun as they navigated through rising tensions toward brighter horizons ahead. The calm before the storm. In the weeks following the successful meeting between Admiral Zara and Captain Elena Rodriguez, the atmosphere within the Galactic Confederation was one of cautious optimism. Plans for collaboration were being drawn up, and both sides eagerly anticipated their first joint scientific mission. Yet, beneath this veneer of harmony, a storm was brewing, one that threatened to unravel the fragile alliance before it could truly begin. As Zara sat in her quarters aboard the celestial Voyager, she reviewed reports from various sectors of the Confederation. The news was mostly positive. However, whispers of dissent began to surface. Some factions within the Confederation were not as enthusiastic about humanity's presence as others. They viewed the rapid advancements of Earth's technology with suspicion and fear. Rising tensions. Admiral Thexis interrupted her thoughts, gliding into her quarters with a datapad in hand. We have received troubling reports from several council members. Zara looked up, her brow furrowing. What kind of reports? There are growing concerns regarding our alliance with humanity, Thexis explained, his multiple eyes blinking rapidly. Some believe that their technological capabilities could pose a threat to our security. Zara sighed heavily, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. Have they forgotten that we extended an invitation to them? We welcome them into our fold. Thexis nodded, but continued. Many see their ships as a potential military force rather than vessels of exploration. There are calls for increased surveillance and military readiness. A divided council. The Galactic Council convened once again to address these rising tensions. As delegates from various species gathered in the Grand Chamber, Zara sensed an air of unease hanging over them. She took her place at the head of the table, flanked by Thexis and other key advisors. Today we discuss our relationship with humanity, Zara began, her voice steady but firm. While we have made significant strides toward cooperation, we must also address concerns regarding their capabilities. A representative from the Kethari race, a species known for their keen intellect, spoke up first. Admiral, we cannot ignore the fact that humanity possesses technology capable of rivaling our own. What if they decide to turn against us? Another delegate, a wise elder from the peaceful luminary race, countered, but we must also recognize their desire for collaboration. They have shown us nothing but goodwill so far. Zara listened intently as voices rose and fell around her. It was clear that opinions were sharply divided. Some saw humanity as potential allies while others viewed them as threats. A call for diplomacy. As tensions escalated within the council chamber, Zara raised her hand to quiet the room. I propose we extend another invitation to Captain Rodriguez for a follow-up meeting, she stated firmly. We need to address these concerns directly and establish clearer communication between our peoples. The room fell silent as delegates exchanged glances. Finally, Thexis spoke up again. I support this initiative, Admiral. Open dialogue could help alleviate fears and build trust. After some deliberation, the Council agreed to send an official invitation to humanity for further discussions. Preparing for humanity's response. Back aboard the celestial Voyager, Zara felt a mix of hope and apprehension as preparations began for Captain Rodriguez's return visit. She knew that this meeting would be crucial in determining how their relationship with humanity would evolve. As she reviewed reports and briefings with her team, Zara couldn't shake off lingering doubts about whether they were making the right choice. Would humanity understand their concerns? Would they be receptive to discussions about military capabilities? Thexis entered her quarters once more with a datapad in hand. Admiral, he said cautiously, I've compiled additional intelligence on human military operations. Zara nodded and motioned for him to continue. The Earth Defense Force has made significant strides in developing advanced weaponry and defensive systems, Tuxes explained. However, their primary focus seems to be on exploration and protection rather than aggression. Zara considered this information carefully. It aligned with what she had learned from Alina during their previous meeting, but also raised further questions about humanity's long-term goals. The meeting approaches. As days passed and preparations intensified for Captain Rodriguez's visit, Zara felt a growing sense of urgency. She wanted this meeting to be productive, an opportunity to address concerns while also showcasing their own strengths as allies. On the day of the meeting, Zara stood at the head of a large conference table, adorned with holographic displays showcasing various technologies from both civilizations. The atmosphere was tense but filled with anticipation as representatives from both sides gathered. When Captain Rodriguez arrived with her team, Zara welcomed them warmly but could sense an undercurrent of apprehension among her own delegation. "Thank you for coming back so soon," Zara said as she gestured for everyone to take their seats. Alina smiled, but there was a seriousness behind her eyes as she replied, "We appreciate your openness to dialogue." Addressing concerns. After initial pleasantries were exchanged, Zara decided it was time to address the elephant in the room. "Captain Rodriguez," she began carefully, "we have received feedback from various sectors within our confederation regarding your fleet's capabilities." She paused briefly before continuing. "Some members express concern that your advancements may pose a threat to our security." Alina nodded thoughtfully but did not appear surprised by this revelation. "I understand your concerns," she said earnestly. "Humanity has faced its share of challenges throughout history. Both external threats and internal conflicts have driven us to innovate rapidly." Zara leaned forward slightly, intrigued by Alina's openness. "What can you assure us about your intentions? How do you plan to approach interstellar relations moving forward?" "A vision for cooperation." Alina took a deep breath before responding. "Our goal is not conquest but collaboration," she stated firmly. "We want to explore together, share knowledge and resources, and ultimately ensure that no one species dominates another." Zara felt a flicker of hope at Alina's words but remained cautious. "And what if we encounter situations where our interests conflict? We must establish protocols for conflict resolution," Alina suggested confidently. "Open lines of communication will be key. If we treat each other as equals rather than adversaries, we can navigate any challenges that arise together." The discussion continued as both sides delved deeper into potential frameworks for cooperation, sharing technology and scientific knowledge while also addressing security concerns. Building bridges. As hours passed in constructive dialogue, Zara felt tensions begin to ease among her own delegation. They started seeing humanity not just as potential rivals but as partners who shared similar aspirations for peace and exploration. By the end of their meeting, both sides had laid groundwork for future collaborations. Plans were made for joint scientific missions and cultural exchanges that would further solidify their bond. As Captain Rodriguez prepared to depart with her team, Zara felt a renewed sense of optimism about their alliance. "Thank you for your honesty today," Zara said sincerely as she shook Alina's hand once more. "Thank you for your willingness to listen." Alina replied warmly, looking ahead. As Captain Rodriguez's shuttle ascended back toward Earth, Zara watched it disappear into the stars with mixed emotions swirling within her. Hope intertwined with caution as they ventured into uncharted territory together. The Galactic Confederation stood at a crossroads. They could either embrace this new partnership or retreat into isolation out of fear. A choice that could define not just their future, but that of countless civilizations across the galaxy. With determination burning brightly within her heart, Admiral Zara resolved that she would do everything in her power to ensure that cooperation triumphed over conflict, that together they would forge a path toward understanding rather than division. The universe awaited them, A vast expanse filled with possibilities where trust could flourish amidst uncertainty. A journey that had only just begun as they navigated through rising tensions toward brighter horizons ahead. A new era begins. As the weeks turned into months following the initial meetings between Admiral Zara and Captain Elena Rodriguez, the alliance between humanity and the Galactic Confederation began to solidify. Joint missions were planned, and cultural exchanges flourished, creating a tapestry of shared knowledge that spanned across species. The excitement was palpable, but so were the undercurrents of uncertainty. Would this newfound partnership withstand the tests of time and the challenges that lay ahead? Zara stood on the bridge of the celestial Voyager, her heart swelling with pride as she observed her crew working diligently. They were preparing for their first joint mission with humanity. A scientific expedition to a nearby star system rich in resources and unexplored worlds. The potential for discovery was immense, and both sides were eager to contribute. The joint mission. The day of the mission arrived, and both fleets gathered at the edge of the star system. The celestial Voyager glided alongside human vessels, their sleek designs contrasting beautifully against the backdrop of twinkling stars. Zara felt a sense of unity as she looked at Captain Rodriguez's ship, the USS Endeavour, which was equipped with technology that complemented their own. Admiral Zara. Elena's voice crackled over the communication channel. "Are you ready to begin?" "Absolutely, Captain," Zara replied, her tone filled with enthusiasm. "Let's explore what lies ahead." As they initiated their approach to the first planet in the system, Zara couldn't help but marvel at how far they had come since their first contact. The initial fears and suspicions had been replaced by camaraderie and shared purpose. Discoveries await. The first planet they approached was a lush world teeming with life. As they descended through its atmosphere, vibrant colors filled their viewports. Emerald forests stretched as far as the eye could see, while majestic mountains pierced the clouds above. "Prepare for landing," Zara instructed her crew. "Let's gather data on this ecosystem." Once on the surface, teams from both species disembarked, equipped with advanced scanning equipment and tools for collecting samples. Zara felt a thrill of excitement as she walked alongside Elena, who was equally eager to explore this new world. "Look at that!" Elena exclaimed, pointing toward a cluster of strange plants that emitted bioluminescent light. "We should analyze those." Zara nodded in agreement. They could have unique properties we've never encountered before. Building trust through collaboration. As they worked side by side, scientists from both sides exchanged ideas and techniques. The humans brought innovative approaches to problem solving, while Zara's team offered insights rooted in centuries of experience. This blending of knowledge fostered an atmosphere of trust and respect. During one particularly challenging analysis involving an unusual mineral found in the soil, a human scientist named Dr. Emily Chen suggested a method that utilized their advanced spectrometry tools. "Let's try using this frequency," she proposed confidently. Zara watched as her team adapted to the suggestion with eagerness. It was moments like these that reinforced her belief that humanity was not just an ally, but an invaluable partner in exploration. Unforeseen challenges. However, not all was smooth sailing. As they delved deeper into their research, tensions began to surface within both fleets. Some members of Zara's crew expressed skepticism about humanity's intentions despite their collaborative efforts. "I don't trust them," one officer muttered during a briefing session. "What if they're just using us for our technology?" Zara felt a pang of frustration at this sentiment, but knew it was essential to address these concerns openly. "We must remember that trust is built over time," she reminded her team. "We can't let fear dictate our actions." At the same time, Elena faced similar challenges among her crew. Some humans questioned why they had aligned themselves with an alien race when Earth had always been self-sufficient. "We need to show them our strength," one human officer argued during a private conversation with Elena. Alina understood these fears but believed firmly in cooperation over competition. She made it her mission to foster unity among her team by emphasizing shared goals and mutual benefits. A crisis unfolds. Just as both teams began to find their footing, an unexpected crisis struck. A severe storm swept across the planet's surface, threatening to disrupt their operations and endanger lives. "Admiral, we need to evacuate," Thuxes shouted over the comms as alarms blared throughout the ship. Zara felt her heart race as she assessed the situation. "What's our status?" "The storm is intensifying rapidly. We need to get everyone back to the ships now," Thuxes urged. Lena's voice came through urgently as well. "We're coordinating evacuation procedures on our end too. Let's ensure everyone makes it back safely." Working together, under pressure. In that moment of chaos, Zara realized how vital their alliance had become. She quickly organized her team while communicating with Alina's crew to establish clear protocols for evacuation. "Everyone needs to stay calm," Zara instructed her officers. "We'll work together, humans and aliens alike, to ensure no one is left behind." With adrenaline coursing through her veins, she led her team into action as they assisted scientists and support staff from both sides in gathering equipment and securing vital data before making their way back to their ships. As they navigated through treacherous terrain battered by wind and rain, Zara caught sight of Dr. Emily Chen, struggling with a heavy load of samples. "Dr. Chen," she called out over the roar of the storm. "Let me help you." Emily looked up in surprise but quickly nodded gratefully as Zara rushed over to assist her. Bonds strengthened. When they finally reached safety aboard their respective ships, Zara felt a sense of relief wash over her, but it was quickly replaced by an overwhelming pride in what they had accomplished together under pressure. "Everyone accounted for?" Alina asked as she checked on her crew from across the communication link. "Yes," Zara confirmed breathlessly. "Thanks to our combined efforts." In that moment of shared triumph amidst adversity, something shifted between them. An unspoken bond formed through mutual respect and collaboration solidified by overcoming challenges together. Reflection on unity. As they waited out the storm aboard their ships, both leaders took time to reflect on what had transpired during their mission thus far. "I never expected such challenges so soon into our partnership," Alina admitted during a private conversation with Zara via secure comms. "But we faced them together," Zara replied confidently. "And we emerged stronger because of it." Lena nodded thoughtfully. "This is just the beginning. We have so much more to learn from each other." Zara smiled at this sentiment. It echoed her own thoughts perfectly. The future held endless possibilities if they continued down this path together. Looking ahead. As calm returned after the storm passed, both fleets prepared for their next steps. Data analysis would commence immediately while plans for future missions were already being drafted. The alliance between humanity and the Galactic Confederation stood firm, a testament to what could be achieved when diverse species united toward common goals despite challenges along the way. With renewed determination fueling them forward into uncharted territories, both literally and figuratively. Zara felt hopeful about what lay ahead. Together they would explore new worlds while forging bonds that transcended species. A journey defined by unity and diversity as they ventured into an exciting new era filled with promise and discovery waiting just beyond the stars.